Welcome back to Design for Speed. I'm Matt with PineCar.com. We're going to conclude our 4-part series today by fine-tuning our racer. But if you haven't seen parts 1 through 3, stop now, go back and check out those videos. We gave you some great tips on building a fast car. This is where we're at today. We're going to go ahead and move forward by dialing in our car or fine-tuning it. The first step in doing so is to weigh the car out. Our goal is to be around 5 ounces. So we took out our scale out of our performance and conformity system, took all the weights out of the car. We're going to weigh the weights, the wheels, axles, body, everything together, and make sure we're as close to 5 ounces as we possibly can be. All right, my car is right at 4.99. I'm pleased with that, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave it at that weight. Now, if you want to get to that perfect 5 ounce mark, go ahead and use some of the PineCar Tungsten Putty weight. Now, the Putty weight is a great product to help you get to the exact weight you're looking for simply by tearing off a little piece of it, placing it on the car where you need it, and then you're up to scale. All right, now at this point, if you haven't put your wheels and axles back on the car, go ahead and place them on there, and we're going to talk about getting these weights in position. If you're using a plate weight or a different style weight, go ahead and temporarily attach that weight towards the back of the car. Once we find our center of gravity in the next step or two, we'll go ahead and adjust that weight to exactly where we need it. Because I'm using a pre-cut, aerodynamic pre-cut, I already got my bores already drilled out in the back of the car, which is going to allow me to use the cylinder weights in conjunction with my cog weights, and so I can go ahead and permanently attach my cylinder weights at this point. Now I'm going to do that by simply using a little bit of the PineCar formula glue. I'm just going to put a drop on each outside pre-cut cylinder hole here, while leaving the center one free for our cog weights. So go ahead and drop those weights in, and again, go set them in place, leave them towards the back of the car, and that glue will take over and get those bonded in there permanently. And at the same time, go ahead and place in your cog weight system. Use your Allen wrench provided in that cog system to go ahead and get those in the car. And we'll be grabbing for this wrench here in a little bit once we go to find that center of gravity, or if we need to do some adjusting with these weights, that'll help us get that done as well. Okay, now the car is weighed out. So at this point, let's go ahead and get the car on our conformity gauge. Now this gauge is provided in our performance and conformity system along with our scale, and this gauge is a real simple way to make sure your car is all ready for the track. We're verifying the length of the car, width of the car, we want to check the height of the car, and we also want to make sure the distance between the wheels is wide enough to go down the track. Putting the car on this gauge, you can do it all at once. It's all set up and you can make sure the car is all ready to go. Now another nice part about this gauge as well, it's got a fulcrum point already built into the gauge, as you can see here. Now if you chose the tungsten cog weights like I have, in that system you'll also have a fulcrum point along with your weights and the drill bit and the Allen wrench itself. So let's go ahead and get that up on the fulcrum point. And again, because of the style of this car, because I've ran the car a few times already, I'm pretty sure the center of balance is going to be right around that 3/4 of an inch in front of that rear tire. And again, my gauge can help me find that out. And as you can see, I'm not quite there, so I'm going to go ahead and torque that in a few more screws. But if you can't find that perfect balancing point, along with the tools provided in the performance and conformity system, you'll also have some mathematical equations in there to help you find that perfect balancing point so you can squeeze out every last bit of energy out of that car. All right, and I'm very happy with that. As you can see, we're right on there, just like that. Now before we move forward, go ahead and give your car a quick roll across a flat surface. We definitely want to make sure your car is tracking nice and true. If the car is pulling to the left or right, pick up a PineCar alignment tool and get your wheels all lined up so that car runs nice and straight. I know my car is running pretty straight from our previous testing, so we're going to move on to our last and final tip. Today we're going to talk about some graphite. Now I know PineCar offers several different styles of graphite, but today we're going to get into our new Accelerate Ultra Graphite. Now this graphite is awesome because it really helps you get the graphite into those hard to reach areas with its stainless steel applicator. Now all you want to do is get that graphite underneath your axle heads where there's a lot of friction in that area, and also you want to get it underneath your hubs, or actually between the axle and the wheel hub itself. Now don't be afraid of it, just squirt it on in there. You can carry this around in your race kit, apply it before a race, and I think you're going to be impressed on how quickly this is going to pick up quite a bit of speed on your car. Now ultimately, I like to get this car so all the wheels will spin freely for about 20 seconds. Then you know your car is ready for the racetrack, and I believe our car is. So let's go ahead and take the car back to the test track and run it for the 4th time to see what type of time is shaved off by fine tuning. All right, we're back up here at the PineCar test track for our 4th and final run of our PineCar. This is what we've been waiting for, but first, let's recap a little bit. Parts 1, we helped to pick out the right body style and talked about some weights for the car. Parts 2 and 3, we reduced a lot of friction on the car by working on your axles and smoothing out the wheels. And then today we actually spent some time fine-tuning this car. We actually worked on the center of gravity of the car. We reweighed the car with all the weights in it and adjusted them to find that perfect cog. And we also added a little bit of graphite for its final touch. And I don't think the car's gonna get any faster than what you're about to see here. So let's check it out. Here we go. All right, excellent run with the car. The car actually did a little bit better than I thought it was going to do. But you know what? You too could build a car just as fast, if not faster, just by following these simple PineCar speed tips. Well, that's the end of the series. Thanks for joining us on Design for Speed. I'm Matt, and we'll see you at the finish line.